Hello guys, and welcome back to Rule the Waves 3 with our Austria Hungary playthrough. In the last episode, America and Japan went to war around 1937, a couple years early there. There's a grand alliance that's about to be kind of together. Italy is allied with Japan, so they might kind of end up together there. But not only that, but Germany is on the way to war with France, who is allied with America. Meaning, considering Italy is also on its way to war with me, and I'm allied with Great Britain, we have something very, very resembling World War II getting started, of course, with, well, I would say an obligatorily neutral Spain, but they actually just recently allied with America. So, Italy, Germany, and Japan are literally making enemies of the entire world. How fitting! We are rebuilding currently our Budapests to be a little bit better. We are building our new Python destroyers, and we are building some new coastal submarines, all of which is going to take some time. Since we have like 12 months, 10 months of these kinds of things anyway, I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to scrap these old mine-laying submarines right now. They're expensive to maintain. Their reliability is crap compared to what I already have. I have a ton of money, and this actually would allow me to, just build maybe even more of these. Yeah, we're building, I think I'm building these in 10s, and we have already 10 building. We could build 10 more. It's 1,100 build cost total for all 10 of these. The maintenance cost of all 20 of these, when done, is going to be lower than what it would have cost to just keep those 10 mine-laying subs we had before. We're starting to get mines placed on all of our new destroyers. So we're kind of moving the burden of placing mines onto destroyers at this point. Maybe we'll do light cruisers next. I don't know. I'm still not sure how I want to treat that. It really just depends if I can get other things going. But coastal subs, considering we only operate out of the Mediterranean, would be fantabulous, and so many others have representation in the Mediterranean. So we have a 20 submarine fleet, 22. I guess I was building in 12s last time. Okay, here, let me just build another 2. There you go. Now, 24. We'll just build in 12s. 24 submarines building for our total submarine fleet here. France will have a bigger submarine fleet than France does. We'll have one of the more average submarine fleets, but ideally we want to match or surpass Italy. Not that that's entirely necessary, but this is an amazing thing we can get, is coastal submarines, because we don't plan on sending them anywhere. We could have a massive coastal submarine fleet, which is very, very, what's the word for it? It's not a great expense, and it can be pointed at enemy fleets or enemy ships very easily. And once we have that where we want it, looking at maybe battle cruisers, or getting, because people are still using battle cruisers, surprisingly, or some new battleships to replace some of these really old and tiny ones would be pretty great. Not to mention, we still have now some of the only airships in the world. Our airplanes are certainly lacking, and we might want to expand our horizons into just building more air bases and getting rid of airship bases at this point. For now, I'm happy with what we've done for this turn. 2 destroyers commissioned into the Navy. That's 2 more Pythons. I gotta get these things added to a division. These are being added onto our Cisco's fleet, so. Whoa. Hello? Something just glitched out. Oh man, there's been an upheaval in Greece. Italy is sending a force to restore order. They probably have more far-reaching plans. Well, if I say fuck it, and I let them have it, then I could take it from them in a war. If I stop them, we get closer to war. I would actually enjoy them taking it, because then I could just take it from them in a war. And if I could take Greece, well, that expands my own control. So this is of no concern to me. Yeah, no, please take it. Italy's taking Greece. That's great. Now I can take it very easily. Very easily. And everything else is still going. Look at our invasion range is much larger than it was. We're having terrible luck getting opportunities to settle things. The one thing we actually got asked we wanted to settle that was in the Mediterranean, Italy got to before us. It was either Albania or Rhodes, but then we invaded it from them. But now this means I can just invade something else from them. What? How is there already an airfield in every single location here? Is it because you just started building it right now? It must be because you just started building. There's no way that you just already have an airfield everywhere over here. So we already have an air base in Pola, our capital, kind of covers all this right here, and Valona covering this. We need something to cover in the middle here. And considering the way things are going, I think it would be safe to get another airbase building. Let's say over here in Spalato. Spalato, Katara are both kind of in the middle between Pola and Valona. I think Spalato is the best location, covering most of what's in the middle here and being able to maybe team up as the ranges go on. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a fort base. We're going to build an airship base in, where is that? Dalmatia? Spalato. Not airship base, sorry. Air base. Dalmatia, Spalato. We're going to build one of those. And then while we do that, we're going to find the air base of the airship base of Spalato, and we're going to get rid of it. So I'm replacing the airships there with another air base. I'm going to keep the airships everywhere else still for right now, but we are still going to phase them out, just not right now. And I know it may be pretty early time to do this, but comparing the ranges of our medium bombers and torpedo bombers, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to obsolete these torpedo bombers. And I'm going to get rid of the torpedo bombers from my air bases because we can have torps on our current medium bombers. And if I just keep rolling medium bombers over and over again when it's time, I can guarantee that we pretty much always have that at this point, I believe. We have, if we're only maintaining like 3 different planes, you know? Now, I just have to disband the torpedo bombers in general from both locations to be able to do this. So, disband torpedo bombers. And then we will, to each of them, add an air unit of medium bombers, 20 of them. Add an air unit of medium bombers, 20 of them, so that we are getting into this groove of having just massive medium bombers, fighters, and naval patrol aircraft in our air bases. We will eventually have 40 medium bombers, 40 fighters, and 20 naval patrol aircraft at every single air base, because we're going to go with the 100 size once we can have that much. Additionally, with this kind of a loadout, I don't think we actually need as many fighters right now, because the medium bombers, I think our medium bombers really probably outrange the hell out of our fighters. Yes, they do. Meaning they're probably not going to have an escort most of the time anyway. So with fighters being the way they are right now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to disband the 10 fighter groups. The 10 plane fighter groups. We'll still have the actually full groups that have 20 fighters. And then just have, right now, 40 bombers, 20 fighters, and 20 naval patrol aircraft. That's not the end ratio I want. But right now, fighters are still just kind of behind anyway. And medium bombers are kind of taking off. Because they have the range, they have the speed, they have the bomb capacity. They have the torpedoes. They have everything that I could possibly want from my land installations. So let's go ahead and make those changes. So yep, that's going to be the current setup. And I'm pretty happy with that setup, actually, as long as we can maintain torpedoes on those medium bomb loads for the medium bombers. Then we have a pretty good excess of money again for right now with this setup. So let's go ahead and build another 12 coastal submarines, get that number up to 36 total coastal submarines, taking care of our budget right there for right now. I want to get it up to, I don't really know how much, but honestly, given that it's all coastal, I think we have definite reason to be able to compete with or have the largest submarine fleet that there is, especially since we know we're going into war pretty soon. Tension with Italy increasing, yep, they're up to 9 right now. So this is definitely not at 10 at the moment. But they're up to 9. We're going into war soon, for sure. So we want to get this just going. There's no point investing into new battleships or anything else right now. Some of our active forces are getting to good, which is good. That's what we want to be at when a war starts. And so right now it's just really all about preparing for war the best we can, transitioning into things that are quick to transition into, planes, having a massive submarine fleet, things like that. A new battleship or battlecruiser program that we start right now is not going to see the light of day in whatever new war happens, nor do we really have the funds for that while I have everybody just ready for war as it is. Apparently, we have more submarines in construction than our industry can handle, and it can only handle 34 at a time. Construction delays are likely. Huh. What the hell? Where would I understand the amount of submarines that I can build? Like, how would I know that? How would I know that number? Is it like this number right here? The hundreds and tens of thousands of shipyard capacity? That seems to match. 34? Okay, well, some of these are still at 13. rather than just having a bunch of delays, let's just scrap 2 of the submarines that we started that didn't actually move at all and just be building like 34 at a time. How do you really get that going? Building 11 submarines at a time. So what are we building right now? We're building exactly 34. Okay. Well, 34 works for me. The biggest submarine fleet, again, is Spain's. I think it has a lot of old submarines in it. Italy has 54. We want to at least bypass Italy, I'm thinking. And these coastal subs are just going to be a really easy thing to get going. Regardless, there's not a whole lot else to do. Our air base is building. France honors alliance, joins America in the war against Japan. And one of our dignitaries has been assassinated by a group of anarchists, apparently supported by Italy. Yep. Yep, I'm not surprised. I think we're going to war, and I think we're going to war right now, quite frankly. Because no matter what, it's going to be like a tension increase. The ultimatum just doesn't lose me prestige. So we're probably going to be going to war. Responsible and restrained could still be 2 tension. And looking at the tensions, I think that would still just put us to war anyway. Because we have tensions with them are at like, oh god, where are they? A 9? That would bump it up to 11, which is that line. I don't know if that's worth losing a prestige over. Instead of just issuing an ultimatum. That wouldn't buy me the time that I would want to, you know, get those battleships refit and to get all those submarines built. Regardless, you know, we have a lot of destroyers ready. We have our ASW ready. We have everything else we could possibly have ready. We just don't have the submarines in place, and our better battleships aren't really very well off. They're still rebuilding. But I'm going to just say, fuck it. We're going to issue the ultimatum. New Russian medium bomber. Improved fighter. As I'm literally requesting a fighter. What's the improvement? We can't say no to it, but, you know, it has better range. A little bit better toughness. Sure. Yeah, why not? That's pretty good. Rumors in Italy about war with us after diplomatic report. Okay, well, shit. We have 16 tension with Italy. Yeah, that went from 9 to 16. So it wasn't immediate, but right now we have a situation where France is at war with Japan. America is at war with Japan. Italy is allied with Japan. They haven't actually gotten involved in their allies' war. At this point, I think it's been long enough that Japan would not come to Italy's aid. Although, look at Italy's fleet is deploying. They see that they're going to war and they've deployed their fleet. And right now, with our ships being reconstructed, damn, I could accelerate, but it's not going to speed it up that much. They might have a blockade advantage on us initially, just because of that, but we'd likely do some good damage to them really quick. This is going to be an unfortunate timing to start. Well, with war on the horizon, I guess there's not a whole lot to do right now. Sort by class, airbase 20. This is still building 2 more turns that won't be ready, so the airships will be following us into this war. This will be the last war we use airships, probably. After this, not so much. Russia and Spain have signed an alliance. Do we have a world war of some kind? Creating Italian battlecruiser, the Christopher Colombo. I think we've seen this already. 9 16-inch guns. I dread to see how we handle these, but aerial warfare experts questioning the utility of our airships in a modern war. I think they'll do pretty well for this war. Beyond this war, I don't know. Now, do we have any fighter prototypes that surpass this old one? Well, we get better speeds. The ranges are worse. The firepower is much greater. Toughness equal or greater, or maneuverability. Potential bomb loads better. So in terms of being a fighter, these 2 new ones are better. But their ranges are questionable. The range differences on these are actually fucking insanely different as well. That's probably just because of, you know, the bomb loads and such. I'll just pick the one that's slightly slower. Here, I'll pick that one. Then, you know, it's still faster than what we have, so I'll take that. Battle Southeast Asia, French and Japanese navies. Japan AV, that's the seaplane carrier, and destroyer have been sunk. That's pretty cool, I guess. Okay, and we're still not at war? We're not, but they keep talking about a war with us, unsurprisingly. I'm amazed they haven't gone to their allies' defense yet, but, you know, at least, you know, Japan's fighting now. They're fighting. And if they do join that war, they'd end up at war with France as well soon. They're on the verge of fighting probably everybody. It's probably this is why. It's like the tension building up. Britain loves us and hates them, so they'd probably come to our aid pretty quickly. But the start of this war would be brutal because they've built up to be pretty good. And unfortunately, there's not a whole lot I can do to be more ready for them. the rebuilding and the time this is going to be starting, not too great. But France and America, they're fighting Japan over in Southeast Asia. We finished construction of an airbase in Dalmatia. 2 ships finished working up, and another destroyer has entered the Navy. It's probably the one we got the discount on. Torpedoes do more damage, but have more duds if used. Magnetic pistols. Okay. Tension with France increases due to random changes. And we're still, surprisingly, not at war with Italy. So they're giving us some time, at least. But we still have 7 months until our battleships are ready, not to mention 5 months until our submarines are ready. The longer this takes, the better. But I can't see this taking insanely much longer with tension numbers like this. I can go ahead and... oh god, where is everything? Looking through this is so weird. Expand that airbase. And I imagine even while it's expanding, I can add an air group to it, right? Yeah, we have an idea what that's going to look like. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to build these... specifically naval patrol aircraft, just get a full division of that done as soon as possible while we're expanding. 4 turns left on that. We have a lot of money coming in and a lot of money in the reserves, which is going to be needed probably while we're at war. Someone is missing a leader. It's the area. We finally lost an admiral. Didn't really mention when I replaced him last time. He was above average. This one's above average. Let's move it over into the next turn. I know it's going to break out any moment now, if not this moment. New docks completed. Tension very high between Italy and Germany. Oh my god, this war is going crazy. I wish I could stay out of it longer just to give the AI more time to beat each other up. Improved 4-inch guns. MAG company developed a torpedo bomber. I don't really care. I don't use torpedo bombers. Southeast Asia, Japan and America fought. Japan lost a light cruiser, a destroyer, a light cruiser. America lost a heavy cruiser. And... nothing too crazy. Italy made a surprise landing in our possession of Sardinia. Yep, they attacked us with a blitzkrieg. War has broken out. They have attacked us with a blitzkrieg, and they are blitzkrieg invading Sardinia. We are officially at war. And so that's unfortunate timing, because they're probably going to have us in a blockade. Our monthly balance is fine, but we still have like half a year until our Budapests are done, and we've won some wars in that time. Well, this will also give us the opportunity to start planning our first invasion, which is going to be on Greece. We'll set that as the invasion target, even if we're working with less resources and, technically speaking, no allies at the moment, because Italy's not at war with anybody. We have high intel on them, and we have good crews, which is hopefully going to be better than their crews, ideally, right? Everyone is kind of set up. We need to get our trade protection going. We have tons of ASW. We need 22 ships on trade protection. We know all of these are designed for trade protection, so let's put them on trade protection. That's already 22 ships, but it's not entirely what we're wanting. We want the Jupiters to go on trade protection as well. So now we have 30 ships on trade protection. Yeah, that's pretty good. We have active force, everything else. We're in a pretty weird position because our only battleships that are ready are pretty old and bleh. It's going to be half a year before we get our actual better battleships out of the rebuild. Our submarines are not ready. And they have battle cruisers and we do not. The timing of this war is bad, but we're going to have to go with it anyway. We can ambush an enemy force in a cruiser action. Now, they might have their battle cruisers though, so this will be pretty weird. With a... what? You want me to ambush an enemy force with a single corvette? I don't know why the battle creator does this sometimes. No, I'm not going to fucking do that. Destroyer raid. Okay. That shouldn't be quite as bad, I think. Intelligence coup and inferior force. This is not a destroyer raid? These are corvettes. These are like minesweepers. What are you talking about? Why do you keep giving me corvettes to fight battles with as like a reward? Enemy raid on coastal targets. Okay, so they're coming for our coastal targets. Thankfully, we lost no VP for declining those other things. All right, this looks better. So our main force is heavy cruisers. It's all of our heavy cruisers. I don't know why this one is over here just separate to this. I would prefer to reassign this. Yeah, reassign this to the... can I... AH Division 17, Core 1 CA Division... I'm so confused. Okay, I got that properly reassigned, so now our heavy cruisers are all together. And I could add another light cruiser here, because we have some light cruisers. Or destroyers. I think another light cruiser would probably be pretty good. I don't know why they're screening when I have them such a support, but they're screening. I have so many destroyer divisions. Yeah, if we can add another admiral spawn, that would be great. I'm sure we might need it. So let's go ahead and accept. All of our cruisers are kind of better than theirs, with the exception of their battle cruisers. But this is the first battle of the war, so this is pretty important. Set priority for land-based air this battle. Attack enemy ships in general, suppress enemy airfields. Land-based aircraft will prioritize attacks on enemy airfields subject to range. Choice will increase pre-battle air attrition. Both you and the enemy will start with a larger proportion of damaged aircraft. Ships in general. So that doesn't even have any information. I'll just say enemy ships in general because just with the way things are, like they're close to me, not the other way around. And we still have a lot of airships. Oh yeah, I kind of forgot they had this right here as well. So this is where we're starting, huh? Well, this is quite interesting. Why is this an independent thing? This, oh God, I need to rearrange this. Okay, so we found their fleet. We started out up here. We came down here. They were shooting at our merchant ships, and we couldn't really stop them because we were so far away. But we have found them. It's a fucking mess on my screen right now. I'm sure there's some kind of a way to turn off these reports, but I'm not quite sure how to do that. So I hope you guys can see through these reports. They've probably accomplished their goal already just based on how this has gone. I gotta turn you a little bit. I want to get you more in position here. And let's turn these guys around. We've had a lot of bombing of our ships happening. So that's been going on. In addition to our ships being bombed, we've been bombing their ships. I've kind of just been getting the reports. Don't know how successful everything was, but our ships are not very injured, as you can see. We're going squad max -2 in every instance. 4 enemy torpedo bombs, TR merchants. Yeah, they're doing a lot of stuff with their air, just in general. But we have a pretty good sight on them right now. Our heavy cruisers do have guns that can fire. Our light cruisers are going to be following in the rear here. A lot of their destroyers are up front. They're sending their heavy cruisers directly at us, and pretty confident ours are better than theirs. Yeah, 13,000 tons, 8-inch guns, terrible armor. Our heavy cruisers can wipe the floor with theirs. It's just a matter of if their planes do enough damage and if they actually achieve their goal or not. So we're getting able to open fire. Also, the crew quality matters. But they're just charging right at us. We've kind of gotten in their way from getting home. So hopefully this works out. I've ordered a flotilla attack just given their proximity here and the fact, yeah, they're just so close and they're getting closer. We're firing on them like motherfucking crazy. Not to mention our light cruisers coming in on the rear here, which I don't think these light cruisers actually have torpedo tubes either. But all these destroyers sure do. And these light cruisers are probably a pretty decent match for the enemy heavy cruisers here. Some of the heavy cruisers have turned around, but a lot of them are still here. Enemy heavy cruiser has just blown up due to magazine exploding. That happens a lot to their ships when they fight me. We're going to try to turn in front of them here with both of our heavy cruiser groups. Our light cruisers are just going to keep following behind like they've been doing. There's so many torpedoes in the water, it's actually insane. I feel like we might accidentally torp ourselves in some instances. Jesus Christ, yeah, the Ulan was hit by a torpedo, and I'm pretty sure it was friendly. There's not a whole lot I could do about that. The AI is the one controlling that. But losing a destroyer is no big deal if we start sinking enemy cruisers, which I think I just saw that one get hit by like 3 different fucking torpedoes. So we have what looks like most, if not all, of their cruiser force. Okay, let's be more realistic. Like half of their cruiser force is here, and it's just kind of stuck. It's stuck in between us and all of our cruisers. We're opening fire, but we've already blown one up. This one has been, this Pisa class has been, oh, this is a different class. Is this older or newer? Oh, this is older. The newer one, no, there's a couple different classes here, but they're all kind of the same doctrine. And they're no match for our cruisers. Oh, okay. Let's take off the flotilla attack because their destroyers are coming back. I think our destroyers have done enough. They're getting very injured as is. It's middle of the day, so we don't want to rely too much on this anyway. They're making a screen. I don't see how that will help them really at this point. So we want to get our own screen back. Enemy Pisa class hit by torpedo. Yeah, that's the one that's not moving at all. We're going to move more straight north here. More straight north here. And let's start putting the light cruisers out in front because they're worth less. Number one, they're worth less, but also they're still big enough to actually honestly fight the enemy heavy cruisers. They're pretty much big enough for that. The enemy cruiser force does seem to be retreating at this point towards their nearby port. We do have some more heavy cruisers in our sight. Whether they accomplish their goals or not, I think the amount of damage, we've already like guaranteed sunk 3 enemy heavy cruisers. I think the damage we've done is going to make this easily a sort of a win for us. Let's turn these guys inwards a little bit more so they're not just straddling these other guys so much. Let's try to stay active with the speeds here. I see some enemy bombings. Naval Station Polar Bomb enemy CV. CV? CV. There's a CV here. I sure don't see V1. This shit's on fire. Oh, it's so dead. It's so dead. You turn north some more. My light cruisers. Yeah, they're just doing whatever they can to kind of turn away from me. So we're going to have to turn in to guarantee that we still get some more kills here. Because again, like, this is just going really well. We can put this on normal at this point. Light cruiser Arthissima, that's ours, is hit by a torpedo. Enemy ship CA Balzano class hit by a torpedo. Okay. How did you get hit by a torpedo? It was probably friendly. It's probably a friendly torpedo. We have very good crews. Could I get you to just detach from the division? Is that a thing? The Arthissima, light cruiser, probably hit by a friendly torpedo. Detach. Detach and send her home. Yes, please. Please do that. Because you're fucked up. Enemy heavy cruiser, it's this one, is just getting hit by more and more torpedoes. Good thing it was a light cruiser, though, and not a heavy cruiser. High speed increases flooding. Yeah, but she's going home, so hopefully she'll just be okay. Those heavy cruisers are trying their best to just turn away from us. I'm hoping that we don't lose too much. I want to keep dealing damage. Keep these light cruisers ahead as kind of a screen here. And we're just continuously torping these heavy cruisers that are not moving. Their destroyers are not really tough shit. Oh, this heavy cruiser's turning into us. That's a huge mistake. That is a huge mistake. Here, let's turn inwards a little bit. Oh, and they're kind of regretting it, but we're getting some good shots into them. I see our medium bombers are going on bombing runs. It's hard to keep track of what the actual air forces are doing, quite frankly, but yeah, this guy looks, he's getting fucked. He's on fire. He's on fire. He's as good as dead, quite frankly. And the other ships are mostly just running away here. So, yep, he's dead in the water, as we can see. There's too many destroyers in front of me to, like, want to turn any more than I'm already kind of doing. Even if it would make it easier to get some hits in, the destroyers are just trailing after the enemy ships. But they're doing a weird thing. They're going in a circle here. So we can still keep getting some pretty easy shots off here. Don't know why we're going so slow on this one compared to this group. But we'll turn inwards. We'll turn inwards with these as well, and we'll turn inwards with these as well. These ones are actually going faster. Detach to pick up survivors. I'm going to say no. No picking up survivors, because there's still so many enemy ships here. We just need to be focusing on fighting right now. And we're burning through our ammunition, but generally speaking, it's going pretty well. Generally speaking. We need to turn way more inwards than we are. I'm afraid to get out of, like, range here, but we'll turn pretty far inwards. We're getting a lot of hits. Fido cannot keep up with the division. Do you want to detach her? Why can she not keep up? Division speed lower than 27 knots. I'm going to say no. Just let her stay, because these guys are going to have to turn inwards as well right now. And Frensburg, yeah, we're just burning through ammunition. Some of their destroyers are getting fucked up. Another heavy cruiser that's gotten fucked up. We have so many destroyers over here. I'm not seeing any of their big capital ships. If they have a CV, I haven't seen it. Not once. But we have an enemy that's kind of dead in the water here. I'm afraid to pass too close to this, but we'll kind of go this way. Turn direct south here, direct south here. We're just chasing after them at this point. Whew, however, we do have a nice full episode here, so I'm going to have to call it here. We'll pick this up on the next one. So I hope you guys are enjoying the start of this new war with Italy. It's quite an interesting start. Let me know how you think it's going to go, and for now, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode.